say no, no, no to. And for the re-election of our elected official for Downtown and LA Live, Councilman Jose Huizar, I say vote for whom? Gloria Molina better. Vote for Nadine Diaz better, because again, we have been discriminated on the basis of who we are and how we want to conduct business in the city of Los Angeles. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Herman, can I ask you a question real quick here? Is this SP1 or SP7?
Well, you have two agendas here in my hand.
Okay. So we're going to hold that for special. Thank you very much. Item number 1, I'm going to lay on the table. Item number 2, call number 2, please.
Item number 2 is a Price-Huizar motion relative to the Net Toll Revenue Reinvestment Grant Program award in the amount of $150,000 from Metro.
Mr. Herman, you got a card on 2?
Mr. Councilman LaBonge, as you see, you're the only chairman in here. Mr. Bonin, Mr. Paul Koretz, Mr. Bernard Parks, and Paul Krikorian are not seated to vote and approve of these actions. I would request and demand on behalf of the public that you not conduct this type of business under the city charter, that you are basically violating the rights of those persons who wished to have their vote yes for the agenda items or vote no. So as you continue this, it is obvious you're in violation of not only just specifically the Brown Act, you're in violation of a quorum, and you're the only person here, Mr. LaBonge. I hold my time to 1 minute. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Mr. City Attorney, the gentleman, Mr. Herman, said that this is wrong, what I'm doing. Am I doing anything wrong, Mr. Herman?
We're not. You haven't taken any votes. There have been no votes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Next item. Hold that one on the desk.
Holding it? You gonna hold it? Hold it?
Hold it on the desk. Next item.
Item number 4 is a city attorney report and ordinance amending Chapter 8, Division N of the Municipal Code to add an additional section to prohibit the selling, leasing, or reserving of or facilitating the reserving of any street, way, alley, highway, road, parkway, parking space, or other public space under the city's control without written authorization from the city.
Mr. Herman.
Without regard of notice and the restrictions of prohibiting this type of business in the city of Los Angeles, I find it offensive that you violate certain terms of the Constitution. And it's very unconstitutional that regardless of having public here or not, and the interest of the public here, all the people behind me seated to ask and petition on the agenda items, you have basically show lack of public safety to our concerns. You do not have the authority for this type of resolutions on any items of motion, any items that would be set under forthwith. And on top note, allow public opinion on all matters of public interest in the concerns addressed here today, Mr. LaBonge. 1 minute.
Going to hold this on the desk. Next item.
Item number 5 is a Koretz-LaBonge motion directing LADOT with the assistance of the city attorney and the chief legislative analyst to report relative to the feasibility and financial benefit of implementing the enhanced traffic pathway analytics program to reduce traffic and provide free traffic mitigation and monitoring information.
Okay, we're going to approve that, and then we're going to ask for a report back later when it's done. Next item.
Item number 6 is a DOT report relative to the use of traffic control officers for traffic congestion relief.
Mr. Herman.
We're requesting to continue that item.
We're going to continue this item. We'll note your card. Thank you very much. Going to the special meeting.
Pardon me, Mr. LaBonge. Yeah. Was an action taken on item number 3?
Yes, approve it.
Was it approved?
Yep.
We have a revised resolution we'd like to recommend that you approve.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
On the special meeting, there's one item with DOT report relative to the department's efforts and response times for addressing abandoned and stored vehicles on city streets. We'd like to recommend that that be continued.
Want this continued? Very good. We're going to continue. We'll note your card, Mr. Herman. I see Mr. Gallagher here, one of the finest of all Department of Transportation engineers. Good to see you, Mr. Gallagher.
Good to see you too.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, Mr. Baxter, will you check to see if any other colleagues are coming, and then we can go from there. Thank you very much. Well, let's start with our fine general manager. Yeah, Harry, thank you very much.
I brought you a present.
Ms. Reynolds, good to see you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Very good. Okay, super. Super duper. Thank you. All right, this is item number 1. Are you going to give us a general report? That'd be great.
I would like to maybe hold on employee recognition until we know if everybody else is
Got it?
what?
Yeah.
That-
But if we know, I'm going to
pleasure of the
continue
chair.
this. Yeah.
Okay. My only piece to report on is that last week we had one of our LADOT Commuter Express buses involved in a fatal crash in Redondo Beach, Catalina and I avenues. The driver of the bus is a 23-year veteran driver. He's been on that route for 4 years. He was cleared at the scene for any alcohol or drug involvement. It was a tragic crash. It was a man and his wife crossing the street. The woman is in critical condition. The man passed away. We're cooperating with the Redondo Beach Police Department as they conduct their investigation. We're thankful that they appear to have some information that will help us find out what happened here. But we're cooperating fully.
Thank you very much. And what amount of accidents there usually over the last 10 years? Is there a number?
For our drivers?
Yeah.
Jim Lefton, maybe I'll call him up here. This is my executive officer for transit, James Lefton.
Yeah.
Hello, Councilman. I don't have the exact number of accidents, but we have done a comparison over the last 5 years of our accident rates versus Metro and the 5 largest operators in LA County. Our rate is at the top in terms of the lowest number of accidents per miles operated. And
Bottom.
right, and then we're the only operator of the top 5 that has not had a fatal accident up until this most recent one over the last 5 years. So we have a good record, but we're always looking to try to improve.
Very good. And if I could ask you, Ms. Reynolds, you used to be at San Francisco.
I did.
And Pier 39. You've been at Pier 39?
Yes.
And they have
I avoided it like the
trolleys. Oh, no. They have trolleys with rubber wheels, right?
They have some rubber wheeled trolleys, and we have historic cable cars also.
Right. And I wanted you to share with James how I want to see rubber wheel trolleys. You only got 19 weeks left, James.
The councilman would like to see rubber wheeled trolleys.
Yeah, because I think it would be exciting to see. I count heads and dash buses, and I see 4, 6. The one amazing line is that the MTA has, I think it's the 603 or 608 that goes from Glendale through to Pico Union area through Rampart. It's very packed. It's a small bus. Mm-hmm. But if you had an open air, it could be fun, where it could work up Beechwood to the village or up to the observatory, etc. So thank you. But Mr. Lefton is passionate. I want to let you know you heard a lot of passionate team members for DOT, which is a very great thing. And I know your leadership will move them down the field, which is so
I'm very
good.
lucky to have a great team. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to ask the deputy to the chair of the committee here for a second. One thing. I'm going to ask you, hold on just for a second.
Will do.
Got it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. So let's now go on, any more on item number 1?
Just the employee recognition piece.
Let's do that. And then before we do that, Mr. Koretz here is the chair of the committee. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Mr. Koretz. I just got a lot of the public comment from Mr. Herman done.
Well, first I have to ask the city attorney if
any of that counts, and if it's impacted by the fact that we announced this meeting was going to start at 3 o'clock?
If we end up with a quorum, we will the speakers will be entitled to speak on each item that we consider again.
And should we be doing anything in the next 10 minutes, or should we adjourn until 3 o'clock? Well, since I'm asking you, we noticed it for 3, and...
Yeah, we have any comedians in the...
Well, no, but I have a district I got to attend to, so you could do the same thing I just did. I was trying to be efficient to all the public employees here on that and handle it, so...
So which item is...
Let's go item number 1 with recognition for our fine employees by Ms. Reynolds, the outstanding general manager.
We'll do.
Chairman Koretz? Yes? Okay.
Please.
Great. So, today I'm recognizing LADOT staff from 2 groups, from parking enforcement and from traffic control, parking enforcement and traffic control and transit services. From our parking enforcement and traffic control group, Sergeant Jesse Dyer, please stand up. I have to say, Sergeant Dyer is an example of just one of many of our exemplary staff professionals in the parking enforcement traffic control section. She eagerly assists in any task when asked and consistently gives over 100% in all of her duties. She's been with us for 25 years. She started out as a traffic officer working enforcement assignments in the area offices and the disabled placard detail, and then in August 2008 she promoted to sergeant and was assigned to the Central Area Office where she managed a squad. And then she volunteered to be a part of the beat redesign and benchmark team where she managed the disabled placard abuse database as well as the creation and maintenance of the department's return to work database for parking enforcement employees. In 2013, she was selected as the permanent return to work coordinator, and we want to thank Sergeant for her excellent work habits and the increasing demands of this assignment. So, thank you so much, Sergeant Dyer.
Hey, I want to ask one question to the sergeant. Sergeant, where'd you go to high school?
St. Bernard's High School.
Oh, St. Bernard's, very good high school, out by the airport. St. Bernard's? Yeah, out by the airport, Playa del Rey, good job.
Yay. All right. The next group is our transit services group, and if you could just stand when I call your name. Carrie Derdarian, head of the Specialized Transit and Grants Division. Linda Evans, head of the Specialized Transit Section. Laura Downing, Charter Bus Coordinator. Gary Hoggett, Management Analyst 2. Christopher Lowe, Transportation Planning Associate 2. And Oliver Ho, Transportation Planning Associate 2. This LADOT Transit Services Group is being recognized for developing and implementing a new web-based charter bus trip scheduling and confirmation system, which we just launched in October of last year. This took a lot of work to get a lot of input from key stakeholders, and in particular, this bus service really serves older adults, children, and disabled groups with free and subsidized charter bus services. So it really is an excellent service that we provide, and we wanted to make it as easy as possible for those groups to get access to those services. We had an old system that wasn't working for the needs of the program, and really this new system is about making it simple and making it easy to get service from your government. And on top of it, saves us about $20,000 a year, which, those little amounts, they add up and they become big amounts. And it's the way that we want to see the department managed going forward. So they took a lot of initiative and developed a new system that takes advantage of information technology, coordinated with stakeholder groups, and we're just very proud of the new system. Please join me in congratulating LADOT staff for their outstanding performance and commitment to the department's mission and vision. Thank you. That concludes my report.
All right, I want you to turn around, get in front with the chairman, and take a picture. Right there, see.
You're next to the picture.
Okay.
Folks back here?
Right in.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Get in there. All that do, open your proclamation. Yeah, right there. You're perfect.
Not going to be
Come a little closer. It's got the city seal. Come a little closer. You get a little more light.
I think they want to come back.
Good job. Good job, everybody. Get in tight. Looks good. 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much, Sergeant. Get in. Okay.
Yay.
Want to get it in? Chief, get in with the sergeant. Get in, Chief.
Another picture.
Get in there, guy. You're in, you're out.
Everybody in, everybody in.
You're right over here.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. All right, good job. One right here. Thank you very much. And, Madam, huh?
Are you going to get
Oh, we're good. We're good. Come here. I know you're good. One more thing I wanted to add. For the general manager, would you make sure that Bruce Gilman gets a camera in the next budget? Because I'm termed out, so I won't be here with the camera, Bruce. And Bruce is one of the greatest of all PIOs.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Just agree. Amen to that. Just for the record, council member, we do take professional photos of all of the recipients with our photos outside and before, and we really appreciate the ongoing support, and I'll make sure Bruce has the finest equipment available.
Good job.
He gets to.
No, we're just
But I could
7 more minutes.
Well, yeah, they mean
So since we have the general manager here, anything else you'd like to say? We have a couple minutes to kill anyway. Anything you want to tell us? Can you juggle? Can you tap dance?
Your Oscar picks.
I did win a karaoke competition once, but let's not do that. It's being broken.
Well, I would make a suggestion to you when you talked about the Oscars. The job that the Department of Transportation does, the traffic officers, the crews on the street are tremendous, and if you get an opportunity,
I agree.
you should ride out on that day. Just go over to Highland and Fountain and watch, because there's a lot of extra security that's there, and the great assistance that Los Angeles DOT is worthy of seeing. And then now they disperse the vehicles and then bring them all back for pickup. It's quite amazing. So if you get the chance on the 22nd of Sunday. And
I am already planning to shadow my crews for the whole day.
Yeah.
I got to shadow them for Ciclavia in South LA, and I'm always in awe of just the logistical challenges that they overcome
Right.
in order to deliver these things seamlessly. One thing that I would like to just note for the committee to sort of consider and think about is just the large number of sort of unprecedented events that we're going to be having coming to the city. Not just the X Games will be here this summer. We're going to continue to have Ciclavia. We're going to have the one out in the valley, which is going to be fantastic. I'm going to get all of my crews bikes so that they can ride around, control their area. And then the Special Olympics.
Right.
So I think that it's a great moment for the city to really pull together and show the world what the term city family really means, and pull those things off. But it's going to take tremendous coordination, planning, and it's a really large undertaking.
Have you ever been to a movie studio?
Say again?
You ever been to a movie studio with the big sound stages?
No.
In there, they have bikes next to this. So you're on stage 12, and you take a bike and you ride over to stage 24. I have a motion somewhere which I want to find and give to you and ask that we create bikes that are here, not just share bikes on the street, but we have a motor pool right in this building, and there should be 5 bikes there if someone wants to ride over to
Public
Hypertech
Works.
or want to ride to wherever they would. So they're, instead of taking a car, they take a bike. And you could support something like that because you have that vision. So I'll find my motion and see if we could get that done, because I think it's a good thing to share the bikes, because that's a different way to do it, especially like I did today. Today's the first day in all my years I said I want to cut and go to the beach. What a day. This is what Los Angeles is all about.
I agree, Mr. City Attorney. I look forward to working with you on that program. We had a similar program at both San Francisco MTA and the City of Oakland when I worked in both of those city departments, a city pool
Right.
of bikes that you
Okay,
can,
good.
you watch a little safety video, you sign up that you've
Right.
seen it, and then off you go. I mean, particularly where all the city buildings are located in downtown, they're just outside of walking distance, but they're very bikeable.
Have you ever been to Washington?
State or DC?
D.C.,
Yes,
largest mall in government buildings
yes,
in the United States.
beautiful.
You know what the second largest is?
Where?
Los Angeles. And your idea, to enhance my idea, but your idea is better, will be to work with the county, DWP, MTA, LA Unified, all down here, so that we know, and we could do that. That's a great idea. So thank you so much.
Great.
It's 3 o'clock in 7 seconds, so start the meeting, Paul.
Or restart the meeting, since it was, I think people were expecting this meeting to be held at 2:45 and 3 o'clock. So why don't we take item number 4, if there's anyone here to report on that item from city
Item number
staff.
4 is the city attorney report and ordinance, amending Chapter 8 of the Division N of the LAMC to prohibit the selling, leasing, or reserving or facilitating the reserving of any street, way, alley, highway, road, parkway, or parking space or other public space under the city's control without written authorization.
Is anyone here to
I can
make a
address
presentation
that,
from
Councilmember.
staff?
You had previously considered this ordinance, and the city attorney's office was requested to amend the previous draft to make it clear that a violation, if you parked or reserved more than one parking spot, that would be a separate and distinct offense, so that you wouldn't have somebody traveling or reserving spots on an entire street section and only fine them once. It would be each parking spot that was being taken up would be a distinct offense. So we have done that. We've added the second sentence in the first paragraph of the ordinance. For purposes of this section, a parking space is an area not exceeding 22 feet in length that accommodates a parking space for one vehicle. We want to make it clear that each attempt to sell, lease, reserve, or facilitate the reserving of a parking space or the completion of the transaction on any street, section of a street, or other public way set forth in this section shall constitute a separate and distinct violation of this section. So if someone were to do what we just described in terms of reserving several parking spaces, the first violation would be one parking space. The second, third, fourth, fifth would jump up to a misdemeanor. Conceivably, the fines could reach into the thousands if people try to do that.
So any questions or comments, colleagues, on item 4
Did he want to speak?
to prohibit reserving parking spaces?
Do you have any questions I gave you?
Yeah.
If not, I'll ask that we,
Wait a second.
We have a public comment card, I believe, on this
We
item.
do have, I took it all originally.
if we could have a speaker from the public who appears to be Mr. Herman.
Appears?
It's a confusing card.
Well, that's what the card states, sir. On the Brown Act, I don't have to state my full name.
I move 1 minute public comment.
So in regards to my time, it is very unconstitutional that such moronic exhibitions such as this to prohibit selling, leasing, and reserving facilities and reserving any street, any way, any alley, any highway, any road, any parkway, any park space on public spaces is just horribly failure on your part. Your amendment stinks. The same way you responded to the 1 minute, you stink. And I can say that in a good manner and a bad manner, because scrutiny is what you deserve when your performance acts upon the rights of your constituents and you don't allow public to scrutinize you on such agenda items, sir. So on behalf of the public, in regards to notice of these restrictions and these amendments, on my portion of comment is I object. And I suggest that there be a revised amendment to this amendment until the public hears the full reports on this item of agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? If not, item 4 will pass without objection.
Thank you.
Item 6 on the regular agenda will be continued.
Yes, sir.
Item 1 on the special agenda will be continued. So presumably, we don't have to have speakers on the continued items.
Leave
that one
2,
out.
3, and 5.
3 and 5 don't have comment cards and will be considered on consent without objection.
Well, item 3 has a revised resolution that had a technical correction, so if we could just approve that on consent, we'd appreciate
Oh,
it.
yes, please. So with that technical correction, item 3 and 5 will be on consent without objection. The remaining item is item 2, and we do have a comment card on item 2 as well.
Item 2 is a Price-Weezer motion relative to a net toll revenue reinvestment grant program award in the amount of $150,000 from Metro for marketing and safety activities related to the My Figueroa Streetscape project.
Mr. Herman, item 2.
This is a motion by Curran Price, and don't vote for Jose Huizar for re-election in March. But on topic now is this. They're asking for an amount, or I should say, a grant award amount of $150,000 from the City of Los Angeles Metropolitan Transportation that they're receiving as a city, but yet the situation here involves how the activities of marketing and the safety activities related to the streetscape project. Still, the City of Los Angeles takes in state and federal dollars and misuses the allocations of those without the appropriate audits, because again, under the guidelines of Title I and II and Title III of the American Disability Act, you are required, and not to prohibit, an audit on the terms and agreements of this item of agenda.
Thank you, and we will move item 2 without objection.
Approved.
And lastly, we have a public comment card from Mr. Herman. You'll have 1 minute on public comment.
Well, this is it, folks. I was kicked out of item 10 of the agenda in the public meeting in council chambers by Mitch Englander, who represents District 12. You think you should re-elect him? Censorship is a bitch. And when you censorship people from participating in meetings and violating the American Disability Act, you are the worst sort of politician you can imagine. So don't reconsider and think of voting Paul Krikorian in District 2. Vote for Eric Preverin, again, Eric Preverin, Preven, for District 2. Do not re-elect Jose Huizar in District 14. This is general public comment, sir. You're interrupting me.
This is the Transportation Commission, it's not council.
On what item?
What transportation item are you addressing right now?
No, I'm addressing what he asked me to address. What was the item, Mr. Koretz?
Public comment, but there's not.
There you go.
not on
There you go.
topic.
And you interrupted me again. May I continue with my last 20 seconds? He announced it as general public comment.
No, public comment.
He's continuing to disrupt the meeting, Mr. Chairman.
Since there being no other business on this agenda, we are adjourned.